So today we are going to start with the other part of the challenges in our democracy, that is regional imbalance. As you can see in the map, there are certain figures. This is the per capita income of the people living in this region according to their population. It is also dependent on their population. If we see this area's income is low, you take Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Orissa. You take these areas incomes are low because you see there is a regional disparity, and again you see in this area it is greater. You see few parts have a per capita income which is greater. And what does per capita income say? If you supposedly you have more money in your hand, you could buy more goods and services. It will help you to grow and live a better quality of life will change and it will turn for the better. And if you have low income, then you will become poor, and poor lives a miserable life because you don't get a good facilities, like you don't get healthcare facilities and reliable healthcare facilities and education. So you have a weakness in there, so your quality of life, which is dependent on several factors, this quality is miserable in the states which are see colored in light. You can see, you can pause the video and you can see the difference. Please analyze things because it is very important to know our country India. Okay. And regional imbalance, you see the word is here, regional disparity means imbalance. Supposedly your expenditure, your mother gave you pocket money and you did more expenditure, you buy many things, and you have no money and you have a debt. That means you are in a disparity. Your income and expenditure, or your pocket money income from your mother and your expenditure is disbalanced, so it will cause harm to you because you will think that how will I get the money now. There are many problems you will face, debts will occur. So it is very important to maintain a balance. Even mother nature, if you see the insolation of geography, in geography will see that mother nature always tries to maintain a balance, and in this way you should also maintain a balance. So in a country, if you take economic development, then you have to do a equal development. In some region the low development, some region high region, this is called pocket development, which I was talking the previous day. But regional disparities are this. You see the change is so wide. This is in a nil, almost nil income. You see the condition of the economy. In this way we cannot grow, it is very difficult to grow. So socio-economic development will not occur if there is a presence of regional imbalances. It is a sad fact. For example, I give you Punjab, Haryana, Maharashtra have been in a better position, as you can see in the map, to register good economic development. Against this, Bihar, Odisha, northeastern states, these are in a very bad situation and they are lacking in development. Now there are some relatively developed states and some relatively underdeveloped states. Now there is also a disparity not only from region to region but also the urban and rural sectors. There are a difference. In rural sectors we have a difference. See, in rural sector everybody is not poor. You cannot say the poor lives in the rural sector. Definitely it is in the more poverty in the rural areas, but still if you take landlords, their income is not less, and if you take the landless laborers, their income is less. So there also exists a disparity. This is called economic inequality. Some class of people have the property and others do not have. And there is a code that we should develop Bharat, not India. India, if we say India, means very fast developing and urban areas are there, and Bharat comprises the underdeveloped, and this Bharat is undergoing through this tremendous income inequalities. And if rural India is still to get freedom from poverty, hunger, disease, illiteracy, and violence. Now people who are unemployed, usually if the unemployment rate increases, it has been seen that the terrorist activities or anti-national activities too increases, because people become furious and they fall easy prey to terrorist organizations. So the regional disparity, if you see the terrorism graph too, you will find that in areas which have low development, there is increasing terrorist activities and other antisocial activities. It can be robbery, theft. Okay, and what are the factors responsible? Now you need to know the factors responsible for this. So these are the factors that inhibit the growth of region, and you see this factors. First is the historical factor. During the rule of the British era, during this Britain's rule in India, British rule, we had a legacy of this development, that Calcutta, Bombay and Madras had were more developed than the other areas. So this problem arises that other areas were neglected. Now it is also due to faulty planning. Now planning is not equal, and there is no definite or comprehensive planning. It is very scattered, so it leads to pocket development. There is slow and uneven development, as I showed you. Okay, there are some revolutions. Green Revolution, which we would discuss in other sessions, but Green Revolution led to a tremendous increase in the wheat, rice in Punjab, Haryana, making them the granary of India. And other areas like some benefited from the White Revolution, that is Milk Revolution. Sunflower Revolution was also there. So these are the factors which make one region different from the other, because this Green Revolution did not impact evenly in India. Geographical factors. Now some areas are hilly. In hilly areas, obviously you cannot have good transport facilities. It's very difficult to maintain unless you have proper infrastructure. So there also arises a lack of infrastructure in certain states like Jammu and Kashmir and other northeastern states. There are many forests, especially tropical evergreen forests, that cannot be exploited, and if forests are index of a nation's prosperity, and if they cannot be exploited to its full capacity, then we will be lacking behind. So we have a very diverse climate, diverse physiographic divisions, so it is only responsible for this phenomena of regional imbalance. There are also technological factors, as I said, that in areas of underdeveloped areas, you don't have good technology. You need to have good technology, skill development. And that now next comes the lack of educational and training facilities. In a state where you have low literacy rates and people are less educated, so that state is having low development. Obviously people are not educated, people are not trained to do jobs, so the employment opportunities are also less. Now there are some local self-governments who are weak. Now local self-governments were made with the aim of more attaching to the needs of the rural people. So these are the few reasons why this regional imbalance is created in India. Now what are the impact? I have told you, if there is low literacy rate in a region, what will happen? Slow development. We could have higher GDP, like we can increase our growth, but development is a very different thing. Development includes growth and other facilities also. So for our economy, it is harmful if we are facing this regional imbalances, and regionalism and colonialism go together. Now if regionalism is there, some community in India are are living a luxurious life and other communities are downtrodden. So it also leads to communalism. It arises conflicts because of class struggle. If you see the urban or rural poverty and the structure, everybody is not a businessman, everyone is not a landless laborer, so there exists a disparity which leads to tensions, class struggles. It also leads to violence, and the politics is huge. If you see in the states of Bihar, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, these are the breeding grounds of terrorism. I have told you a few minutes back that this is an area of politics. Now, politics is directly related to violence. You will see how political violence has impacted our country. So you can see that there is an integrate machinery. Like if some social evils are there, others come in hand. So in a way, they are a hindrance to national integration. If some nation is developed, other nations are not developed, they cannot go into the mainstream. Other regions are left behind. This left behind phenomena always creates tensions, and it creates divisions in the society, and ultimately divisions of the regions where this imbalances are there. So some steps are there to remove them. What are those steps? If area specific steps are there, and if the underdevelopment is caused in some states, and there we need to target the community. So we need targeted development, and there should be tribal councils. The local self-government should be strong enough to handle situations. There should be special development area projects, so that the areas which are underdeveloped could come into this framework. There should also be a provision for the employment opportunities. As I said, if there is literacy is low in a place or in a region, that means it will hamper the skills of the people, and skills are hampered means you will not be developed, and you are not eligible for employment in certain areas. So if you need high skill, high profile jobs, or jobs which require good skills, every job requires a good skill. If you don't have knowledge about a skill, then you are doomed to fail. So you will not find employment opportunities. So we need to get additional employment opportunities for specifically the backward regions. We need to boost the local self-government. We need to provide more resources. And this local self-governments also suffer, I said, from communalism, casteism. These are also a hindrance. They get low funds, they don't have so much power. So we need to ensure that we strengthen these bodies, these government bodies for the people. Steps should be taken for rural development. How can we do rural development? In rural areas, what is the main activity? You say it is agriculture. So if agriculture is developed, how can we develop? If there is some proper marketing facilities, proper mandis are there, and the green revolution, the white revolution is equally impacting the areas, and there is sustained development, not pocket development. And this infrastructure should be created, transport facilities should be created, and so India or Bharat will shine in this way. Now, this is all about the video of regional imbalances. I hope you like it. Thank you for watching.